I quit my $200,000 per year job when I learned 3 powerful lessons that completely changed my life. Now, these 3 important lessons took me 12 years to figure out, and I kid you not, 12 years of grinding at different 9-to-5 corporate jobs to figure these out. But here's the good news for you. It's not gonna take you 12 years to figure these out, because I'm gonna teach them to you in the next 5 minutes. Now, for context, here's why you should listen to me. I thought I did everything right in my career. I graduated from the University of British Columbia with a Bachelor of Commerce with a major in finance. I even worked on Wall Street for a subsidiary of Standard & Poor's. That's the largest credit rating agency on planet Earth, if you're not aware. And I even spent 12 years working in commercial banking for Scotiabank, Royal Bank of Canada, and Bank of Montreal. And I was most recently a director at Bank of Montreal's commercial banking group before I quit once I found out the 3 lessons that I'm about to teach you. These are the exact lessons that big corporations don't want you to know about, and that my banking bosses were hiding from me for 12 years. The point being, guys, I can't stress enough how important these lessons are. And make sure you stick around for lesson number 3, because that one will really surprise you. Lesson number 1, there's no such thing as fair pay. This is the first lesson I learned. The days of working for one company and staying there for 20, 30, or even 40 years, they're over. No one wants to work for one company their entire career anymore, and let me tell you why. Because companies, they don't reward loyalty. Let me tell you a little story. One of my former banking VPs, he told me this one day. He said, employers pay just enough so that employees don't quit, and employees work just hard enough not to get fired. I'll never forget that. The point is that employers like the mega banks I was working for in my case aren't your best friend. They don't care how long you've worked for them. They pay you just enough money into your pocket so that you don't quit on them, regardless of how many hours or years you put in for them. There's no sense of loyalty or fair pay. Guess what I did when I figured this rigged game out? I did what any astute professional should do. I jumped ship from one company to the next and increased my paycheck at least 25% every time I made the switch. And here's the craziest part. I was literally doing the exact same job every single time, but I was getting paid more and more to do the same thing. And all I had to do was to be disloyal and keep switching companies to get paid more money. That's the secret hack that no one wants you to know. And the point is this, guys. Don't feel bad about giving the middle finger to your current company and switching to their competitor that's literally across the street. Your employer is not your best friend. You need to look out for yourself and for your family. Lesson number 2, promotions at big companies don't necessarily equate to more money into your pocket. You want to know why? Because of taxes. So here's what I mean by that. As I was getting promoted to more and more important roles with more prestige and higher pay, I started to notice something very concerning. The more money I worked hard to get, the more taxes I had to pay back as a percentage of my total earnings. In fact, I quickly realized that if I made more than $240,000 in Canada as personal income, I'd be taxed at a 54% combined personal tax rate between federal and provincial taxes. I repeat, 54% in combined taxes. So let me ask you a question. Do you feel like working more and more just to make less and less because a big company is going to give you a nice business card with a nice sounding title? I don't think so, guys, because you guys ultimately want money, not nice sounding titles. But unfortunately, it's as the old adage goes, death and taxes are the 2 things man can never avoid. This is when I realized the second big lesson in this video. What's the point of getting promoted just to pay more and more in taxes to my freeloading business partner, the government, while I was putting in extra overtime work, stressing out for someone else's sake? Yeah, I got a slight pay increase, but most of the extra money was going to the government in the form of tax. It wasn't going into my own personal pockets. Now for you, you need to assess if it's really worth it for you to dedicate your entire life to your job, sacrificing all those tireless hours, missing family time, missing the gym and taking care of your health, missing going out on dates, just having some fun in your life, just in order to get a promotion for a fancy sounding job title, for just a fraction of the extra money that you were promised net of taxes. Now don't get me wrong, there are perks that come with promotions at big companies. For me, it included having a company credit card, taking clients out for fancy dinners, getting free trips to ski resorts like Whistler, getting box seats at concerts, box box seats at hockey games and football games, but guess what? Free box seats at hockey games weren't putting more money into my pocket. In fact, companies often weaponize these free perks just so you can give up more and more of your free time for the company's benefit. Now, for me, I didn't care about these perks because perks weren't gonna help me buy a house for my parents. Only cold, hard cash was gonna do that. So I knew that something had to change. And this led me to lesson number 3. You need to start your own business. Lesson 1 and lesson 2 taught me that capitalist societies, and in case you're not aware, North America is a capitalist society. They're not set up for employees. I'm sorry to tell you. They're set up for employers. Now, let me give you a micro example. In Canada, where I'm at, the combined personal tax rate can be as high as 54% if you're working as an employee for a company. But if you're a business owner, the corporate tax rate can be as low as 10 or 11% based on the province that you live in. Guys, that's more than a 43 to 44% difference in the tax rate depending on whether you choose to be an employee or an employer. And by the way, it's not like this just in Canada. It's like this for any country on planet Earth. In other words, in order for you to truly be successful and out of the golden handcuffs that corporations put you in, you need to actually quit it and start your own business. The way our communities and cultures have been set up, they're for the benefit of employers, the CEOs, the big bosses, never for the average middle-class, hardworking employees. Now, I want to note that it's important to analyze your potential options and not just quit your job straight away. As you slowly build up your side hustle on the side, as the name suggests, while still being employed, you'll reap the benefit from both sides. Only when you're truly ready, confident in yourself, and in your business should quitting your job be a reasonable choice. With Airbnb, in my case, it allowed me to enjoy the rewards of being my own boss while also letting me keep my normal job as a sustainable backup option. Overall, I believe that the 3 lessons I shared with you guys in this video were extremely important for me to become who I am today and for me to be blessed enough to be in the financial position I'm in. But if anyone asks me if I regret starting hard in school and working days and nights to get my finance degree just to end up working for myself, I tell them that without going through that 9-to-5 grind, I would never have learned the lessons that I'm able to share with you today. So now that you understand why I quit and how I got rich, there's one thing missing. How can you get rich too? There's so many business models out there on the internet, so much information, but not enough wisdom. To decipher which model is best for you and which exact one I use to get started in Airbnb, watch this next video. And if you got any value out of this video, I would really appreciate it if you would like this video, and 2, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.